Hi, I'm Lydia, and you're watching Life with Lydia. On today's episode, Study Smart, we're going to look at some of the best ways to study effectively and efficiently. So keep on watching. On today's episode, Study Smart, we're going to look at some of the common mistakes we make when we're trying to learn something new. What are the best ways to learn effectively? And what should we avoid if we want to study smart? But before we begin, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to our channel and to click on the notification bell to get updates on our latest episodes. This show has been brought to you by Quorse, one of the largest training search engines in the market. Today's episode is all about studying smart. So we prepared a special quiz to help you find out how good you are at just that. So do check out the link in the description or comment section below. My featured guest for today is a certified trainer and author who specializes in personal growth and development in areas such as communication, NLP, stress management, and much more. Let me introduce to you trainer Dr. Alvin Teoh. Hi, Dr. Alvin. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Lydia. It's my pleasure.
All right, for this episode called Study Smart, right? I actually saw that you're doing a course that actually helps people to study more efficiently. So I thought that was a really interesting topic that you did. And I believe that this episode will be quite helpful to not only students, but those adults who are still studying. Maybe they want to take up a new course, you know. So the first question I like to ask is, what are the common mistakes that students or adults make when they're trying to learn something new?
Thanks for your question, Lydia. That's a very good question. Well, when we try to learn something new, when we try to study, when we try to master something, when we are learning something, it's like eating. Actually, it's like eating. When we put information into our brain, it's like putting food into our stomach. And there are three things you try to avoid when you're eating. Number one is don't eat too fast. Because when you eat too fast, you get bloated and you feel very lousy. And it relates back to studies. Don't try to cram everything. You say, wow, I just got I'm so excited about this course. I want to like cram everything so I can learn as much as possible. And then maybe I can cut short the course time and then I can pay less. Or I just want to cram everything in my brain. No, you can't do that because it's like eating. How do you eat healthily? You need to take frequent small meals. Nutritionists will tell us whether you're going for a buffet or whether you're trying to control your weight, you just need to eat small and frequent meals. So it goes to the same thing when we are trying to learn something. Don't try to cram, you're learning Japanese. Don't try to cram 100 words into your brain in one day. Spread it out. Maybe 5 words today, 5 words tomorrow. Small, frequent meals, small, frequent chunks of learning. And then that is the first thing that you need to avoid. Don't eat too much or too fast at one go.
Okay.
Second one is, when you're eating, as far as possible, don't eat alone. Because if you eat alone, right, what you do, you'll be like maybe scrolling, reading something on your handphone, or you're watching some video on your handphone. After a while, maybe you get very lonely. And after a while, maybe you just, I don't want to eat alone anymore. Maybe just chuck some biscuits into my mouth while I'm driving so I can skip lunch, because it's so lonely eating alone, having to watch or read something on your handphone and you're sitting all alone in a cafe. Same thing when you're learning something, don't learn alone as far as you can. Right? So just like the person who's sitting alone there eating and then he's reading something on his handphone or watching some videos on his handphone. A lot of us, when we try to learn something new, we try to learn it on our own. We try to read some material on our own. Or we say, oh, I don't want to pay for that course. I can learn online. I can just click YouTube. There are so many things I can learn for free, which is true. But after a while, you get demotivated. How many of you would like to eat alone for one day? It's okay. 1 week, 1 month, 1 year.
Oh dear.
you prefer not to eat at all, right? So same thing. Do not learn something alone. Learn it with a group of friends. Join a class. It could be an online class. It could be a physical class. Or you could just rope one of your friends or just grab one of them and say, hey, come, as I sit down to learn together with me. So you have a partner. And then learning and eating is not just about putting things into our brain or putting things into our stomach. It's actually a very social endeavor, a very social activity. You must do it with someone and it becomes a part of your life and something that's enjoyable, an enjoyable journey. So number 2 is don't eat alone, don't learn alone. Number 3 is if you eat but no exercise, what happens to that? The extra calories will be like, will just add up, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If you eat but you exercise, in other words, the calories, the energy, the carbs that you gather from your food is channeled to something. It's channeled to maybe a sport whereby you burn the calories. It's channeled to maybe a dancing, and then you burn the calories. In other words, you eat for a purpose. You don't just eat and don't exercise. Exercise so that your calories will be flowed to a specific purpose. Same thing. When you learn something, is it just to learn or to learn to gain something else? For example, I want to learn Korean. After a while, it's like, 안녕하세요. Like, why do you want to learn Korean? Maybe you want to watch Korean drama. That is a very good motivation. That is a very good purpose. You channel your energy, you channel the knowledge to something. Or you are learning, for example, you are learning tennis. Why do you want to learn tennis? Maybe you want to join a tournament or you want to play with your friends every weekend. So that there is a purpose. You can channel the learning, the information. You can tell yourself, I learned this. Why? Because I can use it at this particular event. I learned this. Why? Because I can use it for this particular purpose. So it gets channeled and then you are motivated for it. Same thing and in eating, right? So don't eat without any outlet for all your calories. So there's 3 things that I would like to remind you. Don't eat too fast or cram too much into your brain at once. Number 2 is try not to eat alone. Try not to learn something alone. Number 3 is you need to exercise. In other words, you need to learn something for a specific and particular purpose.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alvin, for that information. The 3 pointers are quite helpful. So, okay, so moving on to the next question, right? I'd like to ask, what are some of the best methods to learn effectively?
That is actually a very good question. What are the best methods to learn effectively? I would like to relate it to food as well. When you learn how to cook, what are the 2 best methods to make sure that you become a good cook? Number 1 is do it. In other words, you want to learn how to cook. You want to learn how to speak French, speak it. You want to learn how to operate a machine, operate it, hands-on. You don't learn how to cook by reading a book and then just say, I know how to cook, but you never do it. Do it. Thing is, first strategy is do it. You can't learn from a book or from just watching a video. You have to be hands-on. Number 2 is get feedback. In other words, food, when you cook something, how would you know it's delicious? You may feel it's delicious. Feed it to your friend. You feed the food to your friend gives you the feedback, and then you know whether it's delicious, too salty, too bland. Same thing when we want to learn something. For example, we want to learn French, speak it with a friend. Go to France for a holiday and then just talk French. People think that you're talking some other language. It's okay as long as people tell you, excuse me, ice cream is not this word, it's the other word. Then you learn. You must get feedback, get feedback. You learn how to operate a machine, hands-on, good, that is, do it, but you need to get feedback as well. Get your supervisor there, get your trainer there to see you how you operate the machine, and then after that, he or she will give you feedback and you improve and improve and improve. So learning any skill is just like learning how to cook. Number 1, you need to do it. Number 2, you need to feed your friend so that your friend can give you feedback.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alvin. I have watched also other videos about the planning stage. Is everyone enjoys that, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to plan out to do this, I'm going to do up my entire schedule. But when push comes to shove, it's like the execution part is lacking, So I've seen a lot of other motivational speakers also really talking about the execution part. Just do it, just do it. Doesn't matter, like what you mentioned, whether you're saying it wrong, whether you're doing it poorly, just start to do it. And the second part, when you mentioned about feedback, I think that's also really a critical point, because a lot of us tend to shy away from feedback. It also depends on who. Like, don't just stick to one person, because that person could be either unwilling to really tell you the truth, or they could be too harsh. So getting more feedback from different sources definitely helps you to kind of figure out where you stand, right? So really thanks for that 2 points, Dr. Alvin. And we'll move on to our last question. What should learners avoid if they want to study smart?
Right, that is a very good question. What would you want to avoid if you want to study smart? Study smart means you use strategy to learn something faster than everyone else, right? So what are the two strategies, or what can you avoid when you want to study smart? I like to talk about food as an analogy. Imagine if you are in a restaurant, right? A very high-end restaurant. What are the two things you need to avoid if you want to eat smart or you want to enjoy the food there? First thing is, don't look at the other table and then look at what people are eating and then take their food. You can always maybe order the same thing, but don't go over to the table and say, "Oh, mister, you're having a very nice meal. Can I have your food?" It's like, don't eat other people's food. When we are studying smart, don't compare yourself with others. You may be like, maybe you are going slow, so zoom, then you go exponentially. Some people are very steady when they study smart. Some people zoom, they go very fast, and after that they plateau. Everyone has their own pace. Just stick to your pace. Don't compare yourself with others. Second thing that you shouldn't do in a restaurant is, "Excuse me, waiter, my food is not very tasty. Can you help me to add salt and pepper for me?" It's like, hello, add yourself lah. Correct or not? Because the waiter wouldn't know what is too salty, what is too peppery for you. You would have to add it yourself. In other words, what the waiter likes to eat or the taste that the waiter likes may not be what you like. So stick to what works for you. If you want to study smart, maybe someone else is using this technique. You can try, but if it doesn't work for you, use other techniques, because it may work for him, it may not work for you. And if you're doing something, it works for you, good. You can try other things if you want to. So you need to remember this. What works for others may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for others. So there are two things that you need to remember when studying smart is, don't eat other people's food. Okay, don't compare yourself to others, and don't ask the waiter to add flavor for you, because what works for others may not work for you. Okay, find what works for you, and that is called study smart.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Alvin. I'm definitely going to implement some of this when I take up a new course. And I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay, that'll be good.
So thank you again so much, Dr. Alvin.
You're most welcome, Lydia.
And to you guys, we'll see you in the next episode.
Looking for training? Want it fast and simple? At Quorse, you can find the best training available from dozens of training providers right at your fingertips. Just type in what you're looking for, and you will immediately see the list of courses that matches your search. Something still missing? No worries. We've got that figured out for you. Refine your search further by using our filters that look into your training budget or location and more. You can even organize a private class for your employees. View any course content of your choice, and check out the reviews from those who have attended. Like to know the trainer of the course you selected? No problem. Our trainer profiles come with a quick video introduction just for you. So whether you're from HR searching courses for your organization, or a business owner looking to learn at your own pace, there is definitely something for everyone. Web development, creative communication, leadership, and many more. Quorse is made ready for you anywhere, anytime. Browse for courses at work, or at your favorite hangout, or even by the beach. Experience it for yourself. Just search for us at Quorse.com.